Shock Monkey Radio is created by adults for entertainment purposes. The views and opinions expressed here do not reflect the sponsors or FXPG Public Radio. For additional information, refer to the U.S. Bill of Rights. Stand warned.
Remember what you're saying about people in the burbs, Art? People like Skip? People who mow their lawn for the 800th time and then snap? Well, that's us. It's not them. That's us. We're the ones vaulting over the fences, peeking into windows. We're the ones who are throwing garbage in the street and lighting fires. We're the ones acting suspicious and paranoid, Art. We're the lunatics. Us. It's not them. It's us. And I think that's a very time, a rant that stands the test of time. Because, anyone who's been in any of these riots over the past year, that can apply to you. You want to talk about who the lunatics are? It's the people who are like vaulting over fences, peeping in through people's windows, seeing who they're voting for. They're the people who are lighting fires, throwing garbage in the street. Those are the lunatics. Okay? Good rant. Tom Hanks from the Burbs, if you didn't know. All right, here comes another easy one. Are you crying? Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball. Oh, you zip it, Doris. Rogers Hornsby was my manager, and he called me a talking pile of pig shit, and that was when my parents drove all the way down from Michigan to see me play the game. And did I cry? No. No. And you know why? Because there's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in baseball. No crying. And then the umpire comes up and says, "Look, what's going on here, Jimmy?" And Jimmy points to her, and he goes, "She's crying, sir," as if the umpire was going to go, "Oh, well, apparently, Article 23 of the rules clearly stipulate, madam, you need to get it together. I got to throw you out the game." No, what he says to Jimmy Dugan is something reasonable, what most people would do who aren't baseball managers. And he says, why don't you treat every one of these ladies like your own mother or something to that effect? And then he turns around and walks away and says, you look like a penis with that little hat on. That's baseball, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. Jimmy Dugan's a baseball player. What do you expect? Avoid the clap. Jimmy Dugan. All right, so I got one more good rant. And it's like I said last week in the sense that, rants in real life, there's usually some exchange. There's usually some give and take in many ways. People don't let you rant for 3 paragraphs, in real life. There's always somebody who's got to chime in here and there. So I was hoping that EK could help me out with this one segment here. And it's
how's my mic?
Oh, very clear, I guess.
Too hot?
A little hot.
How's that?
Sounds good. Sounds good. So you got the notes up?
I do.
Okay. So I'm going to set it up for you. It's like basically Tom Hanks got fired / quit from his job, depending upon who you ask. And so as he's walking out the door, his boss says, "And I promise you'll be easy to replace." And then he turns to himself and he says to himself, "I should say something." And the rant begins. "You look terrible, Mr. Waturi. You look like a bag of shit stuffed in a cheap suit. Not that anyone could look good under these zombie lights. I could feel them sucking the juice out of my eyeballs. Suck, suck, suck." For $300 a week. That's the news. For $300 a week, I've lived in this sink, this used rubber.
You watch it, mister. There's a woman here.
Don't you think I know that, Frank? Don't you think I am aware that there is a woman here? I could smell her like a flower. I could taste her like sugar on my tongue. When I'm 20 feet away, I can hear the fabric of her dress when she moves in her chair. Not that I've done anything about it. I've gone all day, every day, not doing, not saying, not taking the chance for $300 a week. And Frank, the coffee stinks. It's like arsenic. These lights give me a headache. If the lights don't give you a headache, you must be dead. Let's arrange the funeral."
You better get out of here right now. I'm telling you.
You're telling me nothing. And why, I ask myself, why have I put up with you? I can't imagine, but now I know. Fear. Yellow freaking fear. I've been too chicken shit afraid to live my life, and so I sold it to you for $300 freaking a week. You're lucky I don't kill you. You're lucky I don't rip your freaking throat out. But I'm not going to. And maybe you're not so lucky as that. Because I'm going to leave you here, Mr. Wahoo Waturi. And what could be worse than that? And I have to say, that's probably my favorite rant. Because who hasn't been there? And Joe versus Volcano, after all. That's where the movie that's the movie that it's from. It was an excellent film. It's an excellent film about like people living the grind. You know, then all of a sudden you're faced with your own mortality, and it's like, hey, you know, you want to life. It turns to color in many ways, and so and you start realizing it's like, yeah, it's like I've been there, and I've been in that soulless job that sucked the juice out of my eyeballs. You know what I mean? I've had that job, and it was because of fear. It's because I was too chicken shit afraid to live my life being a podcaster and YouTuber. But now I got to face the slings and arrows of internet censorship.